The Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby
go!
Day. The influencer class, that's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive in their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box. It may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it. And you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slanging hot dogs, slanging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. There's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
yeah, to come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd, Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters. And for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece?
Yeah, of course.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. From small town whispers is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on, No Sugarcoating Podcast fans? Paul Buchanan wanted to reach out. The month of April is going to be full of candidates. We're going to see a lot of different people from a lot of different positions running, primarily in Laurel County and the surrounding areas. The No Sugarcoating Podcast crew wanted to let you know that we are by no means journalists. Do not come to our show expecting breaking news in regards to what's going on in the elections. We simply have discussions. We are not journalists. We are not a news show. We have discussions. We set our candidates in front of a screen where they can read the messages and they can answer the ones they want to. And we try to include the people watching's questions to the candidates. However, we're unable to get to all of them, and some of the questions the candidates cannot answer. They're just legally bound to not answering the questions. Again, and we can't make them tell the truth either, guys. So, just wanted to kind of let you guys know ahead of time. Hopefully, you'll see this before every episode of a candidate. But, yeah, guys, we're not a news crew. We don't pretend to be journalists. We have discussions. We try to bring out the best of everyone that comes here. We have no gotcha that we're trying to do to any candidate. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Have a great day. What is going on? Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, whatever you are watching our show on tonight. Guys, we are so happy to be here with you. You may notice that we have on a different attire. We were able to pick these up at the Enchanted, not boutique, but it is boutique. Mm-hmm. The Enchanted Boutique right here on Main Street in Corbin. Anyways, I was kind of waiting for Ronnie to pop in like he was supposed to, but he didn't.
Right. Well, I just got tickled at Jericho in there. But yeah, the Enchanted Boutique, not to throw shade at other podcasts, but yeah. Okay. This podcast will support others. Looking at the free man.
Anyways, guys, tonight we have Miss Tracie Handley with us again.
What's going on, Tracie?
I'm just living life large.
So I think I pulled that off pretty good.
We were trying to do something a little different, right? I was going to talk. Jericho was going to mount the conversation. We wanted to plug the Enchanted Boutique. Ronnie wanted to kind of get a little bit of a jab in on the Freeman, and then we wanted to bring Tracie in. and we had a conversation, no joke, 45 seconds prior to us going live about how we would do it. And well, guys, you just seen how well it turned out for us.
Pretty darn good, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to predict everything you said, and I was like,
Yeah. They say if you lip sync, you say watermelon. You just say watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. And it's supposed to kind of look like you're saying what people are saying. Anyways, Tracie, we're so happy to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Now, we had a little bit of a scheduling confusion tonight. We didn't have anybody. Tracie's like, well, if you ain't got nobody, I'd love to come back on. And we're like, well, we'd love to have you. So we're very excited that you could be with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
That you would take time away from all your campaigning and all the busy stuff, because this is a busy season for you right now.
It's very busy.
What is it? Almost 2 weeks until the election, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
crunch time.
For you to be here tonight is a big deal. Plus, they just had a big council meeting.
That's true.
That I seen over 800 people were watching live on Facebook. So, I mean, a lot of stuff. The community actually got to talk tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with the council for allowing that to happen.
Well, that's standard in regular monthly meetings. That's when you're allowed to have the commentary from the public. Special called meetings, there's no public commentary that goes on during those. So that's what the difference is. But it's standard in the monthly meetings.
Well, most of the time when they cut them off, the ones that I'd seen, that I was like, all right, we're ready to adjourn right in the middle of, I think last month it was the contractor. They're like, yeah, we're ready to end this, and it was over. But this one, I'm very happy. I'm very happy because I got to see people address. I got to listen to the firefighter, and he had all his facts on point. Like, he was doing really good. Did you get to see it, or were you?
I did not. I was getting ready and then coming here. So,
so he made a lot of good points. He said that Corbin Fire Department has 7 firefighters that are full time. That Somerset has 10, and Corbin
for his shift.
Per shift.
Yeah.
And that Corbin did 1,500 less calls than the city of London does. And Somerset did 800 less calls. Yeah. And that the city of London only currently has 4 firefighters.
On his shift.
Per shift.
Not on his shift.
Okay, his shift, per shift. I mean, I don't know how.
I think it was per shift, though. They only have 4 per shift.
They only have 4 per shift?
Yeah.
That is.
Ronnie just kept on interjecting there. Not really sure.
He said his shift. He kept reiterating his shift.
So.
But does Corbin run a fire truck every time they get an ambulance call?
Yes, and he mentioned that too. He said that they went to a lot of the ambulance calls for like to help pick up patients, like if they were heavy or whatever. I don't think that Corbin does do a lot of work with the ambulances unless it's like wrecks and such.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like. Well, he mentioned that they went for heart attacks and stuff during his thing. That the fire department went for heart attacks and stuff.
Regardless, I would agree with him. I think they are understaffed.
Well, he said that they were supposed to be 5. That they were budgeted for 5, or that the budget cut them down from 5 to 4. But it was very compelling, and he was very respectful, and the council seemed to be very receptive.
They all
everybody applauded the gentleman and everything else. So it was really good. Like I said, it was just really good to see the council do what councils do. It was really good. It was really refreshing. I'm glad the meeting went like it did this time.
One of the reasons they have to cut people off is that if it's someone that Weddle wants to hear and wants to have speaking, he doesn't stick to the 2-minute allotted time. He just lets them go however long. And they do the 2-minute allotted time because they don't want to be there, all night. No one wants to be there all night.
Right.
So, make your point, keep it brief, and then go to the next one. That's the thing.
No, it's interesting you say that, because initially when he got up there, he's like, guys, I've got 10 minutes of stuff I need to talk about. And they're like, sorry, we gave everybody 2 minutes, and we got to be consistent and fair to everyone, which was right. Which was right. That wasn't. And he was like, well, all right, guys, thank you so much. I'll just not take any more of your time, then I'll move on. And then toward the end of it, a lady wanted to speak, and she didn't. And she's like, well, I think this gentleman should get to speak. So then they agreed to let him have a little bit of time. In fact, Kelly Green said, I'm not opposed to having this man come up here and talk. And everybody else is like, I'm not opposed either. So we got to go up there and talk and and it was really good. It was a really good look for the council tonight. Is what I mean. And I'm excited that I have no ill will to any of them. Like I've said 100 times, I just wish that everything went like it went tonight. Is all.
I will definitely be watching it when I go home.
It was good.
Good.
So what is going on? Crazy is going on in London again. You can't move from one situation without stepping in another situation. Tonight, we don't have to talk about the council. Again, the council was great. Now we need to talk about the police department and how all that went out, because that was tough. It's very triggering for a lot of people to watch. It's very tough to understand that people just found out about this 3 or 4 days ago, but this actually happened like April 22nd, I believe.
Right.
So, people found out almost a week later about this, or however the dates is on that. But it's really tough and really triggering. So what can you tell us about it, Tracy?
It happened on the 22nd. This young man has autism. He had gotten away from my understanding, he had gotten away from either his caregiver or just the group home, and they got a call about him. I don't know exactly what was going on at the time. I've been told that he was agitated and perhaps throwing rocks at something. But if you listen to the videotape, he sounds like a child. He's
right
there. When you're on the spectrum, there are all different levels of how much autism you have. That's not
right.
it, but how prevalent it is, how much you notice it. Like so many people with autism, you talk to them, you don't even know. They may have one little thing that is an issue or something. So
no, like you were saying, it was clear from the moment that you hear the gentleman that he may have an issue.
Right. And so the cops responded, and I was told that he took off running and they went in pursuit. Haven't been able to verify it completely. They're doing an internal investigation, so hopefully everything will come out. But my big thing with watching it is that, well, first of all, I don't think they've had the proper training. They're supposed to have training in de-escalation practices. That's supposed to be mandatory.
And they were none.
Right. I haven't seen any evidence of proper de-escalation training with the police department. I didn't see it with the Doug Harless case. In that situation, I think, they would have been able to go back to their vehicles, use a bullhorn to announce all sorts of things. If they thought it was going to be a situation where they needed so many guns and so many officers, then perhaps they should have had someone who specialized in de-escalation there. And with this person, I didn't see any de-escalation practices being practiced, and I don't understand that. So often with people, whether they're having a mental health, like a breakdown or something, or if someone with autism, or even someone who has a hearing disability, you need to work with them differently. If the cop's instructing someone and they can't hear, then you have to take a different tactic. And I'm not getting the feeling that, and I've not been able to find any evidence that these officers are training like I feel they should, and from what I've been told by other law enforcement officers that should be mandatory, they're not getting training in these practices, or they're not utilizing it. I don't know which one.
Well,
but
this person particularly, somebody with that mental capacity, they should have tried to befriend him.
Absolutely.
From my understanding, they knew his background before approaching him. So why didn't they try to befriend him?
Right, I agree wholeheartedly. Supposedly, they were well aware of the situation, of the individual's issues, and the first thing you do is, well, with an autistic person, if they take off running, you don't chase.
No, and they don't like to be touched
if they're running out of fear. So that was totally wrong, and I talked to a retired law enforcement officer who said that with the state police, they have extensive training in de-escalation tactics and also in special needs tactics, so dealing with any type of special need whatsoever. And he was just appalled at what he saw. He said the first thing they should have been doing is walking up saying, "Hey, buddy, what's going on? You having a hard day?" Things like that. You don't come in with, use of force or trying to bully him or chase him. I mean, that's just wrong. There are ways to handle all of these kind of situations. But what I'm watching and what I've seen is that there's just one way that they're approaching everything, and that's just big bad cops coming in.
And that blows Jericho up.
Yeah, I hate it. I can't stand it.
If you watch the shows, he'll get on a tangent about misuse of force and how he feels about officers that maybe take their job a little too seriously, in a manner of not being as kind and respectful to the people that they serve.
Well, they swore to an oath saying that they will protect and serve their community, and the ones that are only out to, as they say, protect themselves and not the community and not serve the community, them are the ones I can't.
No, I totally understand that. I think a huge issue is training, though. Well, actually, I think it can go even further back. I think we're not training at the beginning. We're not selecting perhaps the people who are best suited to the job. When Weddle came into office, he had, I think 5 officers were fired and another 3 left. I may have that reversed, but around 8 officers who were, most of them were long-term officers, and he got rid of them. And he replaced them with people that he wanted in there. And, that's the prerogative of the mayor to an extent. But I don't understand getting rid of, at that time, it would have been about a third of the police force. And that's hard on a police force, and it's hard on well-trained individuals. I mean, if you're bringing in someone, Josh Morgan, and I don't know his, whole work history or whatever, but I know that not long before he was on the police force in London, he was working for Weddle at, I believe it was his trucking company, WB Trucking. The night of the Doug Harless incident, I believe he was listed as a detective. I won't swear to that, but I believe that's what I saw. Anyway, I don't feel that he was probably on there long enough to be on a special task force. I think those are usually reserved for officers who have had a lot of time on the job, a lot of training, a lot of experience. But nothing seems to follow the right course with the police department since Weddle has come into office. And I don't even know how much background information they're doing on the people that they've brought in. These have been some quick hires from everything that I've been told. The Kentucky Law Enforcement Commission has a list of standards, standard practices that should be used. I don't know if they are utilizing those, but one of those includes suitability screening, and that is psychological testing, emotional testing, and I don't know if that's been utilized. We seem to have some officers on the LPD who react strongly and quickly, and I think that is putting the city of London in danger.
Well, I've seen that the mayor did address on the City of London page that is the city now implementing a policy that is going to require police officers to take the de-escalation stuff, because he had mentioned that, but I don't know where it goes after it gets said. You know what I mean? Does that mean it takes effect immediately, or does it have to be voted on, or how does that work?
I don't know about the process, but my point is that every law enforcement officer I've spoken with has said that should have been part of the training the entire time.
Oh, I agree. I don't disagree about that.
And I was told that it is supposed to be mandatory. So I would like to do a FOIA request or open records request and find out if they are having that training, how much of it they've done, that kind of thing, because I'm not seeing evidence of the training, or at least the training taking with the individuals. They seem to act first and then consider later, and that's scary.
The de-escalation training, though, it needs to go a little deeper too, because with autism coming more not popular, but more
prevalent,
increase and prevalent. My wife works with special needs children in the school system. They need special needs training as well in that de-escalation, because how you de-escalate us will be totally different than how you de-escalate somebody with autism.
Right, and the Kentucky State Police have an extensive period of time that you go through training that includes all of that. The de-escalation is for all different types of situations, special needs people, all sorts of things. Someone who's high on drugs, different things. They go through a very extensive training, but if it's mandatory, if it's supposed to be mandatory, and I'm still looking into that, I don't know if they're doing it. And if they are, I don't think it's being done well, and that's problematic.
Yeah, one of the issues is the staffing, right? Understaffed, because you can't send all of your staff to the training at the same time.
No, but there's all sorts of video things. I can't believe that they couldn't
do
it through Zoom or something like that. I mean, there has to be some sort of training that they could take without sending the whole department there.
I'm sure there's a training in Frankfurt or something they can send one at a time to.
Yeah, they definitely could send two at a time, one at a time.
So everyone here agrees that should be training that police officers have, and that shouldn't be something that should be a newly implemented thing, right?
It should have been standard.
It should be pretty standardized that we all operate this way across the board.
Absolutely.
And that makes it tough. And there's a lot of people talking about the Whitley County Sheriff's Department having an officer there too. And we all seen the videos. We know there was a Whitley County Sheriff's officer. I'm sorry, not Laurel County Sheriff's officer there. However, Ms. Handley's not running for sheriff or judge executive.
No.
So she can't speak as to what the sheriff needs to do about his officers being there. She can only speak to what she does or what she would do as mayor, which is make policies and hire and fire people at the police department, right? You would be able to have that authority.
Right.
Because they discussed that again tonight at the city council meeting. It was a big deal that some of the citizens that came up and said, why haven't names been released? And the mayor says, well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the names of the officers. And it's like, yeah, but there's not been any public mention of their name outside of us just figuring it out on our own. And some of the council was very much for that. And then the mayor had said, well, they have rules that you have to go by.
That part is true. And I don't remember what it falls under, but it's something about, it looks after police officers during a time of investigation and such. There's a standard there for that they don't release the names during, I think, an investigation.
Deposition, I think, is the word they used. Does that sound right?
Until the deposition. Yep.
Oh, until a deposition happens?
Yeah, that's what they said tonight. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
I'm only repeating. I know that there is a it's like a police officer protection thing that's codified. I mean, it's in the statutes that this is how you handle this, so you're not hanging someone out to dry while an investigation is going on. So I understand that, but I also agree with Mr. Weddle that the names are out there. They're floating on Facebook.
Right, they are out there. I was able to see a few of the names out there.
And they also mentioned in the meeting too that a lawyer had made a post and they were addressing that.
Did you know anything about that, Tracie?
About defunding the
police and then hiring the county to take over the police work? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know who would have posted it. I know that's an idea that's been bandied about a little bit. I think it's probably a little drastic. I do think the police department has to be looked at from the top to the bottom. Every single officer, every single position. With outside people coming in and doing assessments. I don't know about defunding the entire police department and then starting over. If they did, from the idea that I've heard buzzing around, it wouldn't be a long-term thing. It would be something to initially take the department apart, let the sheriff step in while it's being rebuilt. I'm not sure that it's necessary to that level. I just think there have to be some huge changes made.
So I don't disagree with changes needing to be made. I think everybody, no matter what side you're on, we want justice for Doug. We want justice for the autistic guy, and in the middle of that is the London City Police Department. So I don't know why anybody would have a problem with that department getting skimmed. I mean, every table get looked under,
right?
And decisions being made, and we can look at services and everything else. And like you're right, maybe defunding it totally is pretty drastic, but maybe having a little help while you go through it isn't a horrible idea either.
Right. We had something similar years ago though happen in Whitley County with Williamsburg. Williamsburg shut down for a little bit, and the sheriff's department took over, and Corbin even went down and helped them.
So it's not unheard of.
You're right. It's not unheard of to completely redo.
But it's not completely doing away with the department. I mean, it's not like
because obviously we're not trying to say that there isn't good police officers in the London Police Department.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if you went through all of them, then all of them's not going to lose their job. There's going to be there's going to be a few very safe individuals in that. So I mean, we're not running down the police department, but there may be some characters that don't need to be there.
Right, and their policies and procedures need to be changed
to investigate every one of them. I'll gladly do it.
I want to say one other thing about the de-escalation. I think you also have to have. I think dispatch needs to be trained in assessing what the cause. Like, is the person autistic? Getting more and more information. If the officers go out with better information. And I know there's that type of training out there where you get people who specialize in this, maybe one person per shift, something like that. But at least get the extra training so that you can better assess and better guide the officers who are going to the scene, so they'll know more what they expect when they get there. I just think it would all go much more smoothly.
Well,
the more prepared they are, the better it is.
Right, and
it's like triage. In the hospitals, you have a nurse who triages the patients and prioritizes that kind of thing. Well, a dispatch could do sort of the same thing, but figuring out more about what the situation is, so the officers are better, qualified when they get, or better informed when they get there.
And that's a big deal.
It is,
because I mean that kind of gives you a starting point at where you need to be also.
Right.
I can speak about it on the medical side. I've done security at the hospital for years, done tons of de-escalation because we had a lot of substance abuse. We had a lot of autistic people. We had a lot of different folks, and obviously we don't have any ability to arrest anybody. So our main goal was de-escalation, because that's really all we had, unless we had to, get him down for a shot or something like that to calm him down, and it was still trying to de-escalate him to give him the shot. So that's the side of it that I can speak to, that knowing a situation better before I arrived there changed, how I arrived.
Right. You're much better.
If I had somebody in there beating the crap out of a nurse, I arrived at a 10.
Right.
If I had somebody that wouldn't pick up their clothes when they were told to, then I arrived at a 1.
Right.
Because it didn't really matter to me. I'd pick up their clothes for them, just so there wasn't a problem and we could just move on.
Well, the training for the dispatchers is something that I would do as mayor.
But de-escalation and stuff over a phone versus in person. It's two totally different things.
No. She's saying,
I'm wanting.
I know gathering information and stuff too, but I'm just using myself as an example here.
But
if I was
didn't call 911.
If I was in a hostile, situation, and I was on the phone with dispatch, and they just kept asking me questions, I would get very irritated with them. I'd be like, "Why? Just shut up! Get someone here. I don't want to talk to you." I would rather talk to somebody face to face than to be holding that phone when I probably need both of my hands during this situation.
I understand, but they can, in that training, I think they would also need to have some training where they can tell by talking with the person.
Mhm.
You can tell if someone's getting agitated. You know that you need to back off.
You can tell tones.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they need to be listening for that. I just think there's so much that can be done at both levels. And those are things that I would like to see done if I go into office. And I'm open, of course, to the public's take on things that your input like yours. And, take that concern into the discussions with whomever we found to do that kind of training. Like, okay, well, what are you going to do if the person's getting agitated? I want all those things addressed. I want the people who are doing the jobs to be the best qualified that they can possibly be. And I think that that calls for things like further training, wider training, covering more topics. I know that, they're not going to be fixing the situation. Their job is to get the police officers on site. But I just think there's so much that can be done with just really good training. And then the officers arrive better prepared, and maybe a situation doesn't turn into what it happened the other day.
I think if training matched accountability, you know what I mean? Like, if you hold people accountable a lot more, then they do a lot less as far as what they shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that require retraining and this and that, and it's really nice to get a recertification. But, it really is just the right fit. You need the right fit. You need the right temperament for the job. The training is just something to kind of lean on to have, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. Like, there are people that were born to be police officers.
Mhm.
They have the right temperament. They know how to handle the situation, and they're going to be consistent with that throughout.
Right.
The training may only help them be better, but they're the same person all the time.
Mhm.
And if you find those people, or you hold people to that level of accountability, then it kind of makes sure that the training kind of checks it also. It's like the cherry on top of it.
It's like giving them another tool to use.
Right.
So
That goes back to the suitability screening that I was
Right.
talking about from the Kentucky Law Enforcement Commission. That should be a part of the hiring process, undoubtedly.
I agree.
I would have all of that looked at. I want to know that people who are being brought in are the best candidates for the job. So I would have the department follow the suggestions and the recommendations of the Kentucky Law Enforcement Commission. They've obviously put a lot of work into this to figure out the best ways to find the best officers. So let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's follow what they've put out there and make sure that we're getting the best officers. And there's also this.
that also goes for chief of police, right? Which you would appoint if you were mayor.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So have you picked one? Because I know we asked the last time who you thought that you might. You got anybody in mind?
I have had lots of people who've reached out. Some of them are incredibly experienced and seem like fabulous officers. I've had one person, actually more than one person, reach out who have already applied for that job because London is looking to fill the position full time,
right?
Instead of having an acting chief of police. What I'm hearing from the people who have put in an application is that they haven't heard anything back, and I don't know why. I mean, I would at least like for people to know that we're still assessing. We've got your application, something like that. They're just hanging out there from what I've been told, and I don't think that's right. I think you need to let them know that they're at least being considered. Don't have anyone picked out at the moment, but the people who have talked with me and whose credentials I've looked at when they've said, this is what I sent to the London Police Department. I've looked over it, and there's some fabulous candidates out there. And I would want the very best.
I just wonder because London's had a history with bad selections, I guess, or unlucky, I'll say, because they've had how many in the past few years? 4 or 5 chiefs?
Three chiefs of
Four.
Yeah.
And it's
been like a revolving door there, and I'm sure the citizens are.
No, you need one chief of police that everyone knows. He's out in the community and that you trust. And I don't know. This turnover is just beyond my comprehension. It really doesn't.
I didn't mean to derail you, but that's I know
Oh, no,
that's one of the questions that we asked last time, and I was wondering if you had a little time to dig into it a little more. So,
My background isn't in law enforcement, obviously, but it's one of those things where you rely on the people who are the best qualified to advise you on things, and those are people like the Kentucky Law Enforcement Commission, the Kentucky Association of Chiefs of Police. They have all sorts of information. You go to the best sources, and you utilize what they can tell you, and then you implement the best of the sources that you've gone to. And
your chief would have to have the same vision as you with the training, right?
oh, 100%. You have to have a chief that can work with the mayor. Definitely.
Yeah, agree.
And I would definitely not have a police chief who didn't believe in all the training that I'm talking about and incorporating the dispatch and everything. You want a chief of police that you can work with really well, and that vision is very important.
Who is, and I don't mean to kind of get away from that, but who is the newest member of the council?
John Bruner.
He was really stand up today. He really shined in the council meeting.
That's the older fella, right?
Yeah, he said that he was speaking for the people that were there. He said, "We want transparency. We'd like to know." Like he did really astounding today. Like I felt like he was for the people in the seats. And I just wanted to say that for all the people that say I bash the city council, I've making peace with all, trying to. But
one of the reasons the council has had so much trouble with the people in the audience is there have been tons of people who have been there simply to agitate. And they have not been Laurel Countyans, definitely not Londonians. We've had people from Whitley County.
Londonians?
Londonians.
I like that.
I'm a word girl.
Gotcha. I like it.
Lots of people from Clay County have attended those meetings and been agitators standing up, clapping, yelling out, interrupting and things. And they're not even from the same county. So it's been a lot for the council to deal with. And it's been people who were strictly for Weddle and his opinions, and they were there just to agitate the council.
Well, Jim did great today. He did great today.
John
did great today.
John's the newest one.
But there is a Jim also, right?
There is a Jim.
That's how I got confused. Okay, but yeah, John did great today.
Jimmy Baker is also kind of soft-spoken and calm, so I
think he was sitting beside John too, and they're the two older gentlemen.
Yes,
those are the two. So, John, that's who I was talking about.
Can I revisit one thing?
Yes, please.
Police department.
In fact, revisit. If you got to sit back and you're like, man, I wish I would have said this the first time, please don't miss that opportunity this time. If there was something that you wish you would have touched on, please touch on it this time.
It doesn't sound like it's really on topic, but it actually is. I think there has been a change in the police department over the last few years. And it's a matter of like community respect. But again, so many of the officers who are working there now were brought in under Weddle, and they're from like Clay County and places. So they're not familiar with, some of the things that have been important to people in London all my life. And this is a tiny thing, but it's something that has bothered me greatly. The police used to shut the gates at A.R. Dyke Cemetery every night. And they open them every morning. They shut them at dusk. And yes, it's not fenced in. You can still walk in there. But there was just no traffic, nobody hanging out in cars at night. It was just, for me, it was always a matter of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, they don't do that anymore. And, it's those little things in a town that when those things start breaking down, it goes all the way up. I mean, the little things are what the big things are built on. And just that matter of respect, I think, is an indication that we're not paying attention to some of the little things that are important.
Yes.
Well, it's one of those pride things.
It is.
I mean, when you see that the police at night are shutting cemetery gates, and you're like, man, that's not really their job, but I'm glad they do that, and that they have that pride for the people that had been in the city, the people that are in the city, and to kind of keep that stuff.
And just respect for the dead. It just shows that, a little bit of respect for the dead. And it only takes them like 5 minutes to do it. I mean, it's not a big deal. and they're already out on patrol, so just pull in there and do it. But to me, it was just always a matter of respect. You know,
I mean, even one of them's probably got to drive right by it to go home. You know?
Yeah, well, it's on Main Street.
Yeah, so
They're all constantly going by it. So I don't know why that practice was dropped, but it's one of those little things that I think are just indicative of maybe bigger things that aren't being paid attention to.
listen, you know what I do every morning, and I don't have to do it? I go to work every morning, and I make a pot of coffee. I don't drink it. I make it because all the boys I work with enjoy drinking coffee.
I think that's awesome.
same
That's
concept.
the same kind of thing. It's those little things that show respect to the people around you that are so important.
Well, I don't disagree with things that just have a strong community center and stuff. So, Jay Money, my guy, I watched him fighting last night or whenever it was on 100% Real and Wrong.
Yeah, I watched J Money throw him sissy hands.
So, anyways, with that said, what was something that maybe that you'd wish that you got to speak about last time that we didn't get on? Because we spend 1 hour trying to cover things, then we give 1 hour to the public for their questions and stuff like that. But I mean, there's a good chance this will be the last time you're on our show until after this primary's over.
Right.
And then maybe we'll bring you back before November, so you could give it another good chance. But what was some of the things that we didn't get to touch on? Let me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm train running right now. So, what about this new city attorney thing? Have you seen Larry Bryson's statement?
I have.
And what is the people of London to make of that? Or what if you were explaining it to me, how would you explain that?
The attorneys for the city council, their opinion is that it's what people around town call Larry law. It's not always accurate. That's their position on it. The issue of whether or not I was put in there appropriately or whatever is still at the Court of Appeals level. But they followed KRS procedures. I mean, they followed the statutes completely, so there should be no issues with it. The Court of Appeals will just decide whether he should be put back in, and because he's in there now just as on an injunction. They can decide to put me back in. They can decide to leave him, but there was nothing, to my knowledge, inappropriate about the way I was put into office. And
so hypothetically, that case, well, not hypothetically, that case is still pending.
It'll be heard next month. It'll be heard in June at the Court of Appeals.
So hypothetically,
I could be in office in June. I could be in office the day they issue the opinion.
Let me just take it the wildest direction it could go. Hypothetically, you could lose the primary, become mayor in June,
and not be on the ballot in November.
And not be in the ballot in November.
Precisely.
That's wild.
It is.
That's wild.
It is, but it is in the Court of Appeals' hands. They'll hear it in June, and I could be back in office the day they issue their ruling, their decision. So it could get interesting.
London is wild. London is wild. But so the Larry Bryson thing, that's just about figuring out whether or not you, or did you fire Larry Bryson, or did the council? Yes. Okay.
I did.
So they're just trying to figure out whether that was legal. Is that
right.
what it is?
He says it's not. The city council attorneys say that it was perfectly fine. The reason I did it, I mean, it wasn't anything personal.
No, you said it was about billing, right? You said that
right. It was just
like
because
$49,000 or $29,000.
There was a month that it was I think it was $24,000 his billing in 1 month that I had to sign the check for while I was in office, even though it happened prior to me being there. I just thought that a lot of what Larry was doing was not necessary for a full-time city attorney. I thought we could parcel out what our legal needs to different attorneys, or maybe just to one or two, whatever, but we could parcel it out and just bill for each little thing, not have someone who is getting a salary, is not a full-time city employee, who's, just going to every meeting and different things. A lot of time, I think Larry didn't need to be there. I think we can streamline London a lot on their spending, and that's one of the places that I thought we could cut down. $24,000 in 1 month to me seemed exorbitant, so I took a step to try to cut costs.
And that's all it was. It was just a step to cut.
It wasn't anything personal.
It wasn't personal.
Who else?
And now, but now the city attorney. Now, does the city council have 2 attorneys?
Yes, but they work with each other. It's like,
so it's 1 bill and 2 attorneys, or is it 2 bills for 2 attorneys?
I think it's 2 bills, but it's because Christy Shannon is the boots on the ground for Chris Weiss, essentially. So what he does is kind of the overview, and then she does the local legwork, essentially. So I think that's how it works, and that's why there's 2. It would be still the same amount of hours. I think if he were doing it all, it's just she's there locally and he's in northern Kentucky.
Right.
But Weddle said he's not going to put the bill for that no more. So
well, it'll be back to the courts. Everything in London anymore ends up in the courts.
It does, and I hope this election fixes that. I hope the right people get elected or stay in office for London. I wish nothing for the best.
Right.
I wish, and if some city council's the best, I hope they stay. If something there's best, they'll stay. Well, whatever's best is what I hope for London. I think everybody wants. Well, I don't know if everybody wants what's best.
I don't know if everybody wants what's best. I definitely do. I want London. I want it back to a growing city where people get along. Where businesses are getting scared off. I'm hearing from business people that businesses are looking at London and thinking, yeah, maybe not. And I don't know what the attendance was at the Red Bud ride that we had recently, but that's always been a huge event. And there is there's a big party before it, at the I think
a derby thing.
Well, it's like at the. Well, this is the Red Bud ride is a bicycle thing. No, bicycles. Sorry. So we have riders from all over the country who come in and participate in that. And I think we still had a good number of people who participated in the ride, but the pre-ride party, which it's not really a party, but it's an outdoor thing. I think at the farmers market usually, and people go and there's food trucks and there's music and it's just a good time for the people who have come into town and are there for the Red Bud ride. So it's a good opportunity for them to see London at its best. But we drove by there when that was going on, and there were very few people, and that was disturbing. And I heard from a few people who reached out to me and said, we just didn't want to be out and about after dark at that gathering. They didn't feel safe. So that's a sad situation. That's a sad statement on our town. So all of this that's going on is really reflecting badly, and people are being turned off, and it's just sad.
Yeah, and this year's flying by too. The reason I say that is because got the Nibrock just right around the corner now. Chicken Festival, them are some things that's
kids are fixing to be out of school.
Yeah, them are some things you'll see it. If London has made an impact, how everybody's saying it, Chicken Festival might not be as big as it always has been.
Absolutely, it may not be. I hope it will be. I hope some of this will be settled down before then. I know if I get put back into office, it will be. Because I want people to see that the police department is being looked at, retrained, redone from top to bottom. I want community policing so that the cops are out in the community walking a beat, talking to people, kids are seeing them. I want to change the way people feel about the cops, and it can be done. Growing up, I didn't have a fear of the city police, but people have it now. I want to change that. I want to see downtown revitalized. There's all kinds of different federal monies out there that can be tapped into with grants and different things that we could help revitalize downtown. Downtown London has so many empty storefronts that it's just really sad. I would love to see.
That's not a lie. That's a fact.
No, that's a fact. You can drive downtown and see these empty storefronts.
There are a lot of empty buildings because
Right.
we were looking for a place to put the bakery. We were initially thinking of London. And it had nothing to do with any of this. We live in Corbin, and we were able to get a really good price here. And it's like, well, we'll just stay home. But there were a lot of empty spaces downtown London that we could have chose from.
Right. So there are federal monies out there that can assist with that kind of thing. I would love to see London have an arts area or a building that is dedicated to it, like Savannah has. Downtown Savannah, they have something called the Art and Soul of Savannah. There are all these little studios in a couple of buildings where the rent is subsidized so that they can afford the rent better. And it's a huge draw for people. And we're on I-75. We're not far from Berea. People come for all sorts of things at Berea. If we can promote something like that here, we're going to get a lot of those people who will come in to London as well. There's so many things like that. There's grant money out there for any land that used to be used in the coal industry. There's money out there that cities can tap into. And from what I've been told by someone who does a lot with that program, London has only tapped into 3 or 4% of it. Even if we're tapping to 10%, there's still a lot of money out there. And that area, one area that the city owns that was old coal area, is out by the city library. Something could be done there with something for youth, ball fields, soccer fields, something, an amphitheater. I mean, just something. I would be open to whatever ideas, but we need to be tapping into every resource.
Just out of curiosity, does the city have somebody that just looks for grants that it can apply for and applies for grants for them? Because if they don't, it would seem like that would be a really great job for somebody in the city.
Weddle brought in a grant writer, and I don't know what happened with that, but I did not see a big influx of money, and apparently they are no longer employed by the city. So I don't really know what transpired there, but I'm good at research. I can write a grant request, so I would be totally not opposed to doing the work myself.
Well, see, that's awesome because there is a lot of money with grants. We were just talking about grants earlier. And we were watching that somebody had come to the meeting asking for help getting housing put in London, that London maybe eat some of the bill to put housing up there or something like that. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be great if, and Ronnie's like, wouldn't it be great if they London would help a small business get started or subsidize some of the rents or something like that instead of putting in these huge complexes that just kind of, because I think he said 1-bedroom apartments were $600 and 2 bedrooms were like $950 or something like that.
And you had to have a minimum income of $2,600, so it's not for low income.
No, 26,000.
26,000.
Yeah, 26,000 to like 41,000.
But no, that would be awesome. And I think that you're absolutely right about the grant writing and finding grants for the city because London is beautiful. I mean, just the history of London, the way it's all set up. You guys have big federal buildings and everything else. And Corbin, we have the tallest building here is the Freeman Building, isn't it? In Corbin, that's no joke, right? It's right next to the bank.
Hall.
Is it City Hall? Is it No, it's only 3 stories.
Is it?
Yeah.
Freeman Building. Yeah, it might be the tallest.
It's right next to the bank. So either the Freeman's or the bank building is the tallest building in Corbin. But you guys got federal building, a 5-6 story building and everything else. Like driving into London for my son, when he's 10 now, but first time going to London, it's like, Dad, look at these skyscrapers and stuff like that. Because he ain't never seen a building over 3 stories tall.
That's sweet.
But London's got all kinds of beautiful places and things.
It does, but it could still be better. I mean, we need those buildings filled in downtown London, and we need to incentivize small businesses to come in there. And there are programs out there, like I said, for that too. You just have to have someone who will dig and make that a priority. And for me, that will be a priority. Also, things like I think I mentioned last time, London sidewalks need to be revitalized. I was talking to someone just yesterday when I was door knocking who fell several months ago because her cane got stuck in broken concrete. These sidewalks in London are not ADA compliant because they're broken and cracking. Not all of them. There's been work done on some, but all of the sidewalks need to be in good shape so that people with disabilities and things can use them without, falling off, falling down, all these different things. So good sidewalks are so important in a town, and there are sections that have great areas that have great sidewalks, but there's
Johnny
a lot
Miller
more
was
that needs to
talking
be
about that
done.
while he was on here. Johnny Miller was. He's like, we really need to get back to that program. Our sidewalks aren't even compliant and stuff like that.
They're not, and that's so important. And there are a lot of people downtown London who move around on motorized wheelchairs and things. I mean, you see them, and I know, bless their hearts, it has to be horrible when they hit those areas that have not been redone. So I just think sidewalks may not seem like a big important thing overall in the grand scheme, but they are to the people who are out walking and riding
Especially
around.
Promoting small business and local business.
Right.
Because when we lived in Florida, these towns would almost shut down. And they'd have like sidewalks, and people would just go down the sidewalks, and you'd have people having drinks on the side of the sidewalk, and people were looking at art galleries and buying shoes, and it was just a main attraction for it was called wine walks.
Mm-hmm.
Where different little places you could go and have a glass of wine, and you could visit and go through the walk and everything else, and it's gorgeous, beautiful, good stuff.
They have an art walk in Lexington. They have an art walk in Savannah, but that's because there are a lot of little galleries there. But
Is any of London deemed a historic district?
I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure we're not. We have very historical buildings, but we don't have an actual historic district.
All right, guys, it's time for us to take a break. Once we get back from break, we'll tally up who won the vote. Do you know, Ronnie? Jericho. Perfect. And he gets to spin this new wheel he created, guys.
I only seen one vote for me. Well, there's two for her, too. Oh, one person voted twice? Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay,
We'll
I
be
bet
back
maybe
short.
a reflection on my dancing last.
The Great American Beater Bash, where memories are made and mistakes may happen.
Everybody needs to know May 2nd. That's Derby Day. Derby Day. Think Derby Day. Derby Day.
Let's
Derby
go!
Day. Influencer class. That's my shtick at this demolition derby that I'm doing. I'm bringing in some people in the entertainment space, if you will, to come and drive their first demolition derby. You can literally go out and buy a $500 shunt box that may have fourth gear out, whatever. You're not going to need it. And then you do a very basic preparation and bring it, and you pay $40 for a chance at $1,000.
Mortal Theory.
We've got concessions, and then the Wicked Wieners truck's going to be there slinging hot dogs, slinging some glizzies. Freeman Brothers is sponsoring a car. I've got Boom Bad Fireworks sponsoring a car. Charlie Mike's at Dispensary is sponsoring a car. Mortal Theory themselves is sponsoring a car. There's going to be a Mortal Theory car. The list goes on. If anybody wants to sponsor one of these cars, this is the deal. I am sourcing the cars, preparing the cars, and then having them painted. And then the influencer, which we can match influencers to sponsors. It's there's no real feasible reason not to come. Unless
That's what she said.
yeah, to come. But
Come join the event and invite all your friends.
come see me at the Great American Beater Bash, Litchfield, Kentucky, May 2nd. Grayson County Fairgrounds, where legends are made.
Located at 511 South Main Street, Corbin, Kentucky, Sugar Booger's Custom Cakes has been bringing delicious treats to the Tri-County area for over a decade. Whether it be a cupcake, cookie, cake pop, brownie, or a signature one-of-a-kind custom cake that will be the star of any event, Sugar Boogers has you covered. Easy online ordering with polite, knowledgeable staff guaranteed to make each experience easy and stress-free. Go check them out on Facebook or give them a call for a free estimate. Sugar Boogers Custom Cakes for all occasions, 606-344-6595.
Are you looking for somewhere in Corbin, Kentucky to host your next event? Here we have it at Harvey's on Main at 115 Main Street. Let's check it out. Step into timeless charm and unforgettable elegance at this stunning historic venue. With breathtaking architectural details and an inviting open floor layout, Harvey's is the perfect setting for your next special event. Delight in the breathtaking bar complete with tap, a fully equipped kitchen for seamless catering, clean and accessible restrooms, a beautiful elevated stage for speakers, performers, or presenters, and for weddings and formal events, relish in the comfort and privacy of the bridal suite. Whether you're hosting an intimate gathering or a large celebration, Harvey's on Main provides the perfect scene to create lasting memories. Thoughtfully designed by the owner, who will be by your side every step of the way to ensure all your wants and needs are met. Book today and let Harvey's bring your vision to life.
Are you a jerky jerk?
You're holding it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Just give me 1 second.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.
Can you give me a piece?
Yeah, of course.
Kick off your boots, come gather round. We're digging up secrets that can't stay down. Bigfoot's out there in the midnight air. Aliens watching from who knows where. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, CIA. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. From small town whispers to city lights, we're hunting the truth in the dead of night. Conspiracies spin and the rumors fly. Country Cupid is gonna tell you why. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Footsteps in the woods, lights in the sky. Some call it crazy, we just ask why. Laugh if you wanna, but you just might see there's more to the world than they want it to be. No sugarcoating, we're saying it straight. Bigfoot, alien, secrets to break. No sugarcoating, the truth on display. Jericho and Paul, bring it your way. Truth or a tale, come and see. We're gonna have some fun, y'all.
In a world where feelings are protected and men have traded big, beautiful beards for man purses and man buns, comes to you a podcast you always wanted and never knew you needed. A podcast where feelings are left at the door and conversations happen unfiltered and no sugarcoating. What is going on, No Sugarcoating Podcast fans? Paul Buchanan wanted to reach out. The month of April is going to be full of candidates. We're going to see a lot of different people from a lot of different positions running, primarily in Laurel County and the surrounding areas. The No Sugarcoating Podcast crew wanted to let you know that we are by no means journalists. Do not come to our show expecting breaking news in regards to what's going on in the elections. We simply have discussions. We are not journalists. We are not a news show. We have discussions. We set our candidates in front of a screen where they can read the messages and they can answer the ones they want to. And we try to include the people watching's questions to the candidates. However, we're unable to get to all of them, and some of the questions the candidates cannot answer. They're just legally bound to not answering the questions. Again, and we can't make them tell the truth either, guys. So just wanted to kind of let you guys know ahead of time. Hopefully you'll see this before every episode of a candidate. But yeah, guys, we're not a news crew. We don't pretend to be journalists. We have discussions. We try to bring out the best of everyone that comes here. We have no gotcha that we're trying to do to any candidate. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Have a great day.
Alrighty, it's time to get a taste of my own medicine around here, guys. So what we're going to do is Ronnie's going to throw this back camera up. I'm going to spin the wheel, and we all get to see what I get. Let me know when you got her in there. Can you see it?
Just cover my face with it. Should be able to cover my face.
Right there? God almighty. Whoa. Oh, Shark Tank. Sell me a product. Didn't I? I got that last Friday.
No, he just told you.
Okay, well, give me a product then. Who am I selling it to? That's. Okay.
Whoa. Whoa.
Thanks.
Whoa. Like, give her the Tic Tacs back. We've got here Jericho's. Ladies, please don't take this offensively, but there's a backstory with douche that I would love to hear Jericho say. This is not to be offensive to anybody. If you've been watching our show for a long time, we'd even have Jericho posted up.
The women. I'm just tired of that stink. Does anybody ever tell you there's fish around? You know the best thing.
You might well cut him off.
Best thing. Listen, shut up. I don't need background noise. You're being very rude. I'm talking to ladies right here.
Yeah, but we're also the sharks too.
If you got a kitty cat, then you can speak. Okay?
You're so big.
But has anybody ever told you there might be fish around?
No.
I got the best thing for you. It takes it away.
Is that a red tint on the TV, or is that really how red his face is?
It might. No, listen, I'm not embarrassed at all. I don't know what you're talking about. But it might mess up your pH balance a little bit. We got a pill for that. That's in the next Shark Tank. But today's about how cleanliness happens. Get in a shower, do a little squeezy squeeze. That's all it takes.
All right, I don't think you're selling to nobody. Let's get back to the show.
At the moment, I'm not even sure what he's selling.
A douche. My product is called a douche.
Turn around in your seat. My God.
Did anybody buy that?
No, I don't think so.
I was out.
Like, I think you made it just too personal when you had to look at somebody to say it. Like,
It's a product for women.
But
Right.
there's two guys on the Shark Tank.
Yeah, man. Why wouldn't you sell it to us?
Because I know.
Why wouldn't you sell it to us? Be like, hey, you want your lady smelling fresh?
Yeah.
No.
Why would you say that?
Because it's easier sold to a woman.
Yeah, telling the woman that.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, it even
probably not.
Probably not.
It even
Probably
comes in
not.
flavors. You know,
Again, that's something
That's
you tell
something
guys.
you sell the
I
man.
know. I know. I see you over sucking on some Tic Tacs. If you want his breath smelling good too, you know, just saying.
Anyways, jeez, OP.
All right, back out of that rabbit hole.
Jeez, OP. Jericho, like, I knew that I was kind of stepping in a little bit when I said it, but I thought that he would just kind of back off a little bit.
How long you been part of the show?
No.
How long you been part of the show?
You should
As
have
soon
let
as
me.
you said the word douche, I was like, I'm out. No,
Yeah.
As soon as,
Well,
yeah.
You
we
should
had
have
a
let him
lot of-
sell the Tic Tacs.
Yeah, I probably should have let him sell the Tic Tacs. Anyways.
Anyway,
So that was fun. Maybe a little 13, or maybe maybe PG-13.
That's why we can't go live on TikTok.
What's that say?
No sugarcoating.
No sugarcoat.
I like to live by that.
we don't do the redneck bra stuff. Thank you for all the comments on our shirts. Again, you can get that at Enchanting Boutique right here on Main Street in Corbin. all you men financing adult daycares. They have shirts for you right here at Enchanted Boutique.
And you heard it here on this podcast that we support local businesses where you will not hear it on other podcasts. Pointing at one.
Anyways, so we have Tracie Handley with us. She's running for mayor. She is number 1 on the ballot.
I am number 1 on the ballot.
Number 1 on the ballot. I thought I remember her saying that. Voting is on Tuesday, May 19th. This is the second time that we've had the pleasure of having Tracie on the show. She was just kind of getting into, right before we took the break, on bringing new stuff to London, finding out money for London that the taxpayers don't have to come up with, grants and stuff like that London could be awarded instead of having to worry about who's going to pay for it. We were talking about sidewalks specifically right before we went on break. You have any other plans, Tracie, or things that you'd like to see done in London, or things that you think that you could kind of spearhead to get rolling?
Well, the big thing is the downtown thing. Just because we're proud of our little town, but we could be so much more if we would revitalize the downtown. So that's a hot button issue for me. I would like to have more family friendly things for downtown. And again, more small businesses coming in could bring those. People want to be able to go out on, in the evenings and walk down Main Street and have stuff to do. And I think that's really important. I've been in a lot of different cities in my life, and when people get out and hang out in the downtown area, there's a feeling of community that I think is really special. And we're not doing a lot of that. We have some great programs like the movies that we do in Town Center Park, and there's a concert per month in the summer. But I just think there's a lot more that could be done. And even like the little the art walk that you were talking about, we don't have a lot of art galleries, but we could set up things like that, something similar to it, where people have a reason to go downtown. Maybe scavenger hunts, and that may sound like
fun.
That may sound silly for a mayor to be focusing on.
But
But
here at the bakery, the scavenger hunt, and we had all the community participating in it. When we first opened, it was a way to kind of let people know that we were open, and we hid little treasure chests all over the city at kind of historical spots. And then we done a little thing where we kind of hinted as to where it was, but didn't say, and people would have to go find it, bring it back to us. But no, we loved it. I think everybody loved it. We had ladies digging in the sandbox over here trying to find treasure chests. It was a really good time.
I think things like that build community spirit too. And you can even have team events where it's a team scavenger hunt, and you're having to have different people with getting their pictures made, doing different things, and have teams and prizes from local businesses that people are trying to find. Things like that are just fun, and they get people out, and it also gets a lot of publicity for the buildings or the businesses,
right?
Because the people are stopping in and checking those places out. So I mean, it's just everything doesn't have to always be serious as when you're the mayor or when you're dealing with a small town. There needs to be some fun things in there, and I think something like that would be a lot of. Sherry and I, with our art gallery.
Where's that at?
It's in London. It's off of 363 and 1006 in London, or Keavy Road. It's a little gallery. We have a lot of events in there. We've done classes, all sorts of. I've done glass classes. We've done painting classes, different things. But at one point, we did a scavenger hunt. We put things out all over town, and you could come in and some things were for a free item, and some things were a discount on items that we had. And people had so much fun going out and trying to find these things. So things like that are just a good way to get people out and moving around in the city. And I think we could use that.
So I agree with that. Didn't you guys used to have like a Thursday night or a Saturday night thing where you guys would have like a party somewhere and everybody downtown could come and hang out? And
Thursday Night Live. Yeah,
that was fun.
It was, and we need things like that. But again, it goes back to people need to feel safe in the community again. We need to see the results, not to give you conversational whiplash, but we need to see the results of whatever internal investigation they're doing on this latest incident. The chief of police said that they have begun one. I don't know when it was begun, but we need to see real results come out of it. We need to see what was found. There was supposed to be an internal investigation into the Doug Harless case. I've never seen anything having to do with that. I've never seen anything come out, and that was even when I was in office. Bobby Day talked with me and said there was an internal investigation, and I've never seen anything. There has to be, everybody hears that word accountability, but there has to be. If you say that there's an internal investigation going on, then produce results. Let us know what you found. People can't put their faith back in the police department if they're not being transparent like that. Let us know that there are problems, and if you didn't find problems, tell us why you didn't. If this community thinks there are problems, tell us why you didn't view them as problems.
And it's just, I don't mean to say it's bad timing or whatever, but there's just so much stuff going on in London. Again, like we found out, was it today, about the South Laurel teacher?
Yes.
That
which is
had pornographic material or something like that was arrested.
Yes.
That was today.
So how'd they find that out?
Well, I don't know much about the investigation. Again, Jericho, you don't know anything about it. It just happened today.
That's why I'm asking.
It just happened today. I don't know much about it. I just know that he's been arrested, so there was enough evidence for an arrest on it. And then, that's less than a week from us finding out about the autistic gentleman and that incident. And we didn't find that out until almost a week after that happened. So then it's like, okay, now we're backing up and we're finding something all the time. And again, none of it should be politicized. However, there's a lot of stuff
that has to be addressed.
That needs to be addressed.
Right. No, I agree. This latest one is just heartbreaking. I think he was arrested over the weekend, I believe, by the Berea Police Department.
No,
maybe not.
Barberville.
Barberville. The B. Sorry, that's
You're right. Yeah.
I had a B in my mind. So Barberville police arrested him, and then they let the Laurel County School Board know about it. So we don't know much more than that at the moment. But he is I believe he teaches special needs kids, special education, and I know that he's a tennis coach.
And they said swimming coach also.
So that's, I don't know, that's very, very troublesome.
It is, because when you think of swimming, you think of people getting undressed and dressed, and it could be sexualized.
Yes, easily. So it's very frightening.
That is.
So the man got a little too comfy, and he slipped up.
Or maybe he's a sick individual that why does it seem like, I know why it seems like, because I've watched enough stuff, but it's always, you find these type of people working in places they have no business, because that is who they're after,
right.
And that's always so disturbing. It's always so disturbing.
It is. Our children are the most vulnerable out there, and to think that there's a predator among them is just, it's infuriating. It's heartbreaking. It's something that's got to be addressed. And I don't know. I feel for the families who may be involved, that will find out are involved. I'm just feel for whatever child has been involved.
Because you don't know how long this stuff's been going on.
Right. So, it's just, it's heartbreaking and it's infuriating.
And again, it's just another thing happening in London right now. And again, just unfortunate. The timing is unfortunate. Well, I don't mean timing is unfortunate. I mean that it's unfortunate it happened at all. I don't mean to make the timing anything about it. Unfortunate it happened at all.
Oh, definitely. But it just seems like it was just one more thing on top.
But it's just, that's what I mean. It just feels like it's another thing going on.
And that's on the heels of just a couple of weeks ago. There was that bullying of the boy in the school system too.
That was
about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, crap though. That happens all the time, and It's like they don't never want to do anything about that.
Yeah, he was special needs too.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
He was an autistic child.
I didn't know that. So, but bullying in schools is especially.
Oh, yeah.
I know in Whitley County, Whitley County is getting real bad.
But that's just all very tough stuff.
It is.
And with that said, is there more oversight that the city council can do to stuff like that, or is there anything that
school boards voted on too?
So that's something that the school board when the school board got voted on. But I mean, you guys can make recommendations and stuff too, right? As a city, no, not to a school board.
No, the school board is a totally separate entity.
That's wild, right?
They're almost like a city themselves.
Well, I noticed when one of the other guys were talking about them getting their own police force and everything else. I'm like, man, that's pretty wild.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say. They have their own police force.
Yeah.
Their own police officers.
Well, schools, you better do a better job.
And people, when you're voting, remember
Yes.
that,
Yes. Man, it took me this age of my life, well, maybe around this age, to realize how important voting is and how important it is to try to tunnel vision every person that you're talking about. Don't let outside people make decisions for you. You need to do your own research, look into everyone that plays a part in your everyday that asks for your vote, and make the best decision for you. Don't take a side. Don't do this side, that side, this side. Pick the right people. And that's another thing that's kind of worrisome about London, because you see sides.
It's never been that way before. It only started when Mr. Weddle came to town. I'm hoping that if he's out of there, then things will settle down fairly quickly. There are some deep chasms that have been created, divisions between, families who've been great friends for years, for decades, generations. So it's going to take some healing, definitely, but I hope things will tone down as far as the rhetoric, the vitriol will tone down, because if you look at all the lawsuits and things like that, there's one person who's at the heart of all of them, is named in all of them, and who has been the source of a lot of the confrontations, the anger. I think things will settle down once he's not in office. He's currently under 4 felony indictments, so that may take care of something on its own. I don't know, but I just think if everything swirls around one person or one thing, then if that gets moved, I think people's emotions calm back down some. So I'm hoping for that. London has always been, I always said I grew up in a very Mayberry-esque town. If I had gotten in trouble, I knew better than to get in trouble first. But if I'd gotten in trouble, it would have been, the news of it would have been home before I got home, because you know everybody that you grew up with. It had a very Mayberry feeling, and someone would have been calling my mama. There's no doubt. Right. Anymore, I don't know. People may call just to say something that is mean. Something's not even true. But I think all of that will calm back down some once we get rid of the catalyst for it all.
Well, I know you're not the first person said that. Of course, I don't have any kind of fight in any of it. Like I said, everybody's been very kind to me. Everybody's come to our show. We've really enjoyed everyone coming on. Yeah. Like, it's amazing how great everybody is, and how much
respect everybody.
Well, I'm gonna say how divisive everybody is, and everybody's so great too. It's like how can all these great people not
get along?
Yeah.
Why is there sides?
But everybody's been really great to us that's been on the show.
Well, I can tell you that under me, I'm not going to be worrying about sides. I'm not going to be governing like that. But I can work with anyone who's on the city council, and it will not be a clown show. It will not, devolve into this circus atmosphere. I'm really good at working with people of all different beliefs and, different positions. As long as everybody works for the best thing that's for London, then we'll get things working. We'll get things moving. That's what everybody has to be reminded of. If you come into it putting London first and not your own personal interests first, then London's going to win. And I pledge 100% to do that. I will be totally about London.
Well, see, I know this is the most, and I don't know if it speaks to what you're saying, and I don't know that anybody could disagree that this is the biggest political thing that's happened in London that I can ever remember. This election.
Of course, because there's so much dissent right now, but it can be fixed. I will work hard to fix it, without a doubt. And I just don't think it's going to be quite as hard as people think once the emotions die down some. But I can tell you that when I go in, I will not have like backroom deals and all the things that you hear about. I'm not part of the good old boy network, and I am 100% about having like city contracts go up for bid. I hear that some of them haven't, whatever, but it'll be an open, transparent bid process. I will make sure that it's heavily publicized in the paper, online. Every option that's out there, everything will be put up for bid, and it'll go to the best bid.
Well, we were just talking about that, and I don't know how true it is. I won't take it for what was said, that somebody got a contract to mow the graveyard for $96,000 for 1 year.
Yes.
That sounds exorbitant.
I don't think so, because you've got several employees that you're paying. It's not like this one person doing it. So that amount of money isn't going to one person. That person is paying the staff, and there's so much weed eating in A.R. Dyke. A.R. Dyke is a big cemetery.
Right.
There's so much weed eating alone that by the time you finish, you start back over.
$20,000 a month. $20,000 a month, because you only really mow and weed eat 5 or 6 months a year, right? It seems like a lot.
I would want to look and see what other.
Me and Ronnie would like to put a bid in for $84,000. I'm just teasing. But
no
like
less
you were saying,
than 84.
But like you were saying, with Mr. Bryson, it's about what's right, the right prices. It's about getting down exorbitant prices, and you were saying being very transparent with bids and stuff like that.
Absolutely, that's the only way it can be fair. The good old boy network just has to stop. I mean, it really does. Backroom deals and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. Just make everything open bids. You have to get away from the good old boy thing, and I'm not a good old boy. First of all, I'm a good old girl,
Right.
but I'm not part of that network, and I won't be, and I'll just make sure that things are open.
Somebody said it went back to the city to mow for $40,000.
I don't know, but I have not heard that.
City council rescinded the approved bid.
Okay, I didn't get to watch that meeting.
That's great.
Yeah. Saves the city
almost $60,000, right? It was like $96,000, and if it was rescinded, and now the city's going to do it for $40,000,
and put it back on city employees.
Put it back on the city employees. That's great, right?
That makes much more sense to me.
That's amazing.
I have to look into it. I don't know exactly what happened. Like I said, I was getting ready and then getting down here to be on this.
Then we're going to
watch it.
Guys, be watching for Tracie's video where she explains the city council meeting tonight. Because everybody's like, Tracie, would you please watch that and let us know your opinions about it? We've had 2 or 3 comments about that roll through here.
Mm-hmm.
We must have missed some of it, because I've seen some people comment that it was pretty heated there at first.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, I seen that a gentleman that had, when we first tuned in, the gentleman that had an autistic son was talking to the council, and he seemed pretty worked up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everybody felt like he had the right to be. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
No, I definitely think that every autistic or parent of an autistic child should be fired up over this, and rightfully so. I mean, this was an awful event, but again, it wasn't just about him having autism. I think every bit of it could have been handled better from start to finish.
I don't disagree. And again, it's the London Police Department,
It's
right?
training, and it's the mindset, and it's the leadership of the department. The department if the department head is a certain way, then the rest of the department will fall into line behind that. But they have to pick the right officers, like we've been talking about, and I just think that there are a lot of problems right there right now. But I am not slamming the entire department. I know one officer in particular who did a lot with me while I was in office. He was a terrific young man and seemed like a really good officer. So I'm not slamming the whole department by any means, but when you have one or two bad apples, you can spoil the whole bunch. And I think there are some officers who are giving a black eye to the department that need to be addressed. I have another problem, and this is like more of a statewide issue, but two of the officers were allowed to resign who were involved in this instead of being fired. I think that's very problematic because they can go on to work in another department. There's something in Kentucky called the Brady List, and officers who are guilty of use of force, infractions, different things like that, can be put on that so other departments know not to rehire them. Apparently, Kentucky doesn't do the best job of keeping that list up to date, according to what I've been told in the last few days. So I think as a state, we need to look at doing better because officers who have issues like that at one department are going to go somewhere else and have the same kind of issues.
I think Barberville's dealing with that issue right now.
They addressed it a little bit tonight in the city council meeting and was talking about that it's under KRS and stuff that they get the officers get a choice to help protect them until investigation's fully done, that they can resign. But Weddle said that they were going to be terminated. It wasn't his choice; it's their choice, and it's protected under the KRS or something. So,
well, when the investigation is completed, they need to be added to the Brady List.
Yeah, he said.
And if Kentucky's not doing a good job maintaining it, the state needs to do better.
Yeah, so he said that he was going to put them on the list, or they were on the list, or something. But
I don't know.
If he said if we want to make changes, we'd have to do it through Frankfurt. So,
see, I think that had been it was what I seen was good. It was a good council meeting.
Good.
It was a good council meeting. So, Ms. Tracie, what is it that we haven't touched on that you'd like to touch on tonight? Like there are, I have a bunch of questions in my mind, but then I wonder the legalities of asking questions and whether or not that you could even speak about it. And I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction. And we have, people wanting you to speak on the sheriff's department, which you can't.
No, the sheriff's department isn't under the
There's nothing
mayor's
you can
office.
do about the sheriff's office.
Right.
Nothing. So it doesn't matter. It does matter that there was a sheriff's officer there, but there's nothing that we can speak about that would change anything about the sheriff's officer being there.
Right. And when I post about it, have posted about it, I've just talked about the London Police Department aspect simply because, I'm running for mayor and the mayor is over the London Police Department. The sheriff's office is totally separate. The sheriff is an elected official, and he or she runs the department the way they see fit. And so that's just not part of what I would be able to do anything about, even if I were in there right now.
But you did say that you feel like every officer should have de-escalation training.
Absolutely.
So, that's across the board. That's a very broad statement when you say every officer.
If it's mandatory for the Kentucky State Police, it should be mandatory for every officer in every jurisdiction.
So I feel like it's very safe to say that Ms. Handley would want the sheriff's department to have de-escalation too.
Absolutely.
Every officer.
And I would hope that the mayor and the sheriff's office could work well together. When I was in there, I didn't have problems working with the current sheriff, the magistrates, the county judge exec, all of those things. You know, I can work with people with no problem, and I would have no problem sitting down with the sheriff, whoever's in there, and when I'm in there, and saying, "Can we do something?" And maybe even, you know, like if you do have to send London officers or send more officers at one time other than one or two, can you all cover for us a little bit while we send them off to this training, whether it's, you know, a day or whatever, and then we'll do the same while you send your officers. Everybody in the county should want to work together. The mayor, the city, the county officials, everybody should want to work together for the betterment, not just of London downtown, you know, the city limits, but for the entire county. You know, London's part of the county. So you should want to work with everyone.
Fixing London doesn't fix Laurel County.
Right. We have to work together to
fix Laurel County.
Right.
That, you know, there's a rift in the county, there's a rift in the city.
Mm-hmm.
If you're only concentrated on fixing one of those problems,
then there's still going to be a problem.
There'll still be a problem. And like you said, you know, it's working on building a good relationship with the county officials also.
Absolutely.
That way, that if you do need any kind of coverage, like you were talking about to send the officers away, that you'd have somebody ready to do that for you.
Right.
You know, it's not just fixing a city, it's fixing the entire county.
And right now I've been told that there is the LPD and the sheriff's department don't work perfectly together.
I've heard that too.
And I would want to address that. Have the chief of police of London sit down with the sheriff and, you know, myself and maybe a mediator and work out whatever problems are there so that they all work together seamlessly. That just is better for the community as a whole. You know, people are safer, people are better served when everybody's working together like that. And I don't remember a time prior to now when they didn't. So much of the strife in London is brand new. And that's, you know, that's very concerning, and it has to be fixed.
Well, I'm glad that you addressed that because you do have to have that relationship. And you said you'd be willing to work with anybody. So I mean, that means that you don't have a bad relationship with anybody running for sheriff or sheriff?
No.
So that's a good start.
Definitely. I have no problem with them, and I'll work well with whoever is in that office. When you're in office, you have to work for the betterment of London and Laurel County. That's just what you have to do. So even if you do, maybe don't like this person really well, or don't, you know, it could be don't like his cologne when he's around you. Whatever, just put petty things aside and work together. Make London and Laurel County a better place. It's really simple. I mean, if you just put the city and if the county officials just put the county and everything at the forefront and not your own personal interests, your own personal grievances or things, then you're going to be working for the betterment of the people that you're there to serve. I mean, that's what's important.
Let me ask you this. So recently, the city council, and this does get to the mayor, but there was something to ask about his residency that would keep him off the ballot on the 19th, right?
There has been a lawsuit filed by some citizens of London who are disputing his residency. Everything that all the lawsuits that are coming out against him personally, like the latest one I think was American Express is suing him for $154,000 or something like that. Everything goes to the compound in Keevee, and you know, if that's your address of record,
another home of the mayor's,
right? Well, there's a massive compound in Keevee on 552 in London.
Well, I was just saying a compound in Keevee. The compound in Keevee is owned by the mayor.
Yes,
that's what I was getting at.
It's a large compound, and everyone knows that that's where he spends his time. There are people on 5th Street across from his property in town that is on apparently his driver's license and his voter registration, who never see him there.
You know, he showed Jericho's license. It was 5th Street on his license. You've seen it, right? He handed it right to you during the show.
Well, I was looking more for what it said, not the address. It said London, Kentucky. I should have been more particular when I was looking.
Well, you can register your driver's license to a different property, but this lawsuit is saying that he lives in the compound on 552 in London, and that he's using the fact that he has his driver's license and voter registration at the 5th Street.
The house also on 5th Street.
Right, but he's using those as his way to run for mayor, but that's not really a residency. I think anyone with any common sense knows when you say, this is my primary residence, that means where you lay your head at night. It's where you spend the majority of your time when you're not at school or work. Mr. Weddle has rarely darkened the driveway at the house on 5th Street, according to the people who live there. And, there are people who have been watching the entire time that he's been in office. I don't know how it'll come out. The courts, will have to make that decision. But
that's going to have to happen before the 19th.
It will be heard before the 19th. And he could be removed from the ballot, potentially. So just have to wait and see what the courts decide about it.
I just know that I'd seen that, and there were people asking about it on here about the legitimacy of his residency, and
that's been a question from day one. Actually, it's been a question since he was running the first time. But I was told that he had legal counsel explain that if you have it on your driver's license and your voter registration, then you can say that's your primary address. And all of that was done prior to him filing to run. So he did it with the appropriate time, with what I'm told was legal counsel guiding him. But I just have issue that nobody ever sees him in that driveway.
Well, see, because now a lot of folks are saying that he's staying at the compound because of any kind of threats or any kind of suspicion of people messing around his property. And I don't know.
Well, he's said that about a couple of people who live on that street, but my point then would be, why did you buy on that street? There are a lot of properties in London. If he thought it was, filled with people he didn't want to be around, why not buy a different property? It's not like they moved there to stalk him. Right. They're just there living their life.
That had been a residence of theirs for a long time.
Yes, absolutely. Decades. So it's not like anyone moved there just to watch him.
See, that's just there's just so many different spots in this and different angles. But I can't stress enough, don't follow a crowd, folks. Do
your research.
Dig into the people that you want that want to represent you, and find out what you can find out about them. Like we get we get people sending us information all the time. Like, we have a whole file of stuff people send us about the mayor, whole thing that people send us about the sheriff. We've got all kinds of stuff. We keep it to ourselves, so it's not for us to discuss. It's not for us to talk about or nothing like that. And, people want us to, but but that information that's been shared with us is out there for anybody to find. It's not private information. You just got to dig for that stuff,
Right.
And I feel like it really don't in line with who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
Again, we are not a gotcha show. We don't bring anybody on here to talk bad to them or
no. I appreciate that. You all have been fabulous. It's not a gotcha show, and people should do their own research, and not just into why people are talking about, like Mr. Weddle or whatever, but dig deep into all of us running. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions about who I am and, what my skill set is, what I am bringing to the office of mayor. Like I told you before, I've got over 25 years in the legal field as a trial consultant. I've worked on every kind of case imaginable. I'm well versed in municipal law as well as just any kind of case you can imagine. Part of my job for all those years was heavily into mediation and negotiation. I would mediate between litigants, hoping to find common ground. That skill set will help with working with the city council and with other elected officials. I'm very good at that. My legal background will help with all the lawsuits that are pending, and there are a lot. And even if Mayor Weddle is not in the office as mayor, those lawsuits remain. And so the city is going to have to deal with them. And London is insured through the Kentucky League of Cities, and there's a cap for each incident. And if the settlements or the verdicts in those cases exceed those limits, then London is on the hook for paying the rest. I've said before, if all of these exceed the limits, or even if a majority of them do, London could be in serious trouble. And if that bankrupts the city, then the state has the ability to come in, step in, and take over control of London. I don't know about you, but I don't want the state running my hometown.
No, I wouldn't want it.
My skill set and my experience would allow me to go to Frankfort. I've worked for years on different legislation and on projects that are close to my heart. So, like Ethan's Law, I worked with a good friend of mine on that. So I've got a good rapport with people in Frankfort. Not like I'm buddy or anything like that, but I can work with the people there, and I can go to the governor and say, the problem that was at the center of all this, causing the bankruptcies, has been removed. We've got a responsible person in there now. We can right this ship. We just need a little time. So, and my skill set is one that will help us do that. Like I said, even all the things like I was talking about, finding whatever monies are out there to help London do projects that we need to do that we don't need to be funding because things will have to be tightened up and, the purse strings tightened a bit and things. But I can work with the state government to make sure that local governance remains with the city itself. So people need to focus on things like that.
Well, can I ask a dumb question? Because I've heard you say it a few times. I've heard one other person say it. But when you say the state will take over, paint me a picture that, like, what would that look like? What would that really mean if the state had to take over London?
It means that they will have essentially a supervisor that oversees all the budget, the funding, decision making. They can look into anything, and they can take over a little or a lot. I mean, it's happened before with states. In Michigan, stepped in with Detroit at one point over the same thing. So they can come in and make decisions, and I just don't want the state making the decisions for my hometown. If you've got people in there who are fiscally responsible, which I would be, and the city council being fiscally responsible, you can write a lot of the stuff, and it goes back to little things. Like I said, with like the issue with Larry Bryson, it wasn't personal, but it was about saving money for the town. We just need to show Frankfort that we can do that. Otherwise, you've got a supervisor from somewhere else who is watching over everything, guiding everything, making decisions for your town that they feel is best, but they don't have anything to do with that town. So keep control of the town in town, but with people who are capable of handling the situation.
We've all seen things like that happen. You say you work for the KECOC and your boss leaves and corporate sends somebody down that doesn't know how things operate. Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of people may leave, but we've all seen instances like that where, somebody from a corporation comes in and just tries to fill in where everything is working as it should, or people know how to fix problems.
What?
And then it just changes. It would change everything about a small town if you bring someone in that's only analytical. Someone that's like, I don't really care about that Thursday night program. We could save all this money. Just let that go. And let that go, and let that go. And you're like, whoa. You don't understand. There's hundreds and thousands of, hundreds and thousands of people that enjoy this. We got to keep this. You'll not have that voice that say that if somebody from the state were to come in. It would just be an analytical, these are the numbers, this is what we cut. There's all these programs that London enjoys, cut. Save
You may
us
have
money.
someone who comes in with a hatchet cutting things rather than a scalpel when you need a scalpel to make the little cuts that all add up to the big result.
But is that necessarily a bad thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very bad because
But wouldn't it be better?
It changes.
But wouldn't it be better to be able to start it from the ground up? Let the state come in and butcher that sucker, and then
No.
and then you or whoever's mayor gets to go back to being mayor and rebuild it.
No, because they can destroy the feeling of a town. Because, like you were saying, they come in and they don't know what's important to the citizens. They don't know what our traditions are and things. Those can be respected and handled while still making the cost-cutting measures and things that would need to be made. But it takes someone who can come in with a scalpel and do the things that we can do away with without destroying the feeling and the vibe and the reason that London is London.
See that you missed the representation I was giving you. So someone from corporate comes into your job and they don't know what Jericho can do and be like, Jericho gets paid this. Cut it. Cut him. Cut this guy, cut this guy, cut this guy. And they don't know what this guy means to this company. They don't know. And that would be the same if somebody from the state came in. They don't know what this means to this city. They don't know what this. They don't know all the hard work that you do. They don't care the hard work you do. They just cut you out because they could save money. Do you understand what I mean? When you take the personality, the people out of the equation.
I get what you mean, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Let them come in and cut me out.
Yeah. He wants out.
He wants out. I want to preserve the feeling of the town without putting us into further financial issues, and that can be done.
I mean, I lived through one of those at the hospital. We had CEO step down and corporate sent somebody in from Louisville that didn't know how our hospital worked at all. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of things went away.
Before we end here, there's a lot of people asking, and you'd already agreed when you was on last time for a debate. Matt Orr said that he would come on for a debate. Weddle said it when he was on here, but
see, the problem with that is he is at such a disadvantage because of the things that he is got in litigation.
Yeah,
the things he can't talk about would be very difficult to ask him if he can't talk about it.
Well, but in a debate, you're asking all the candidates the same kind of questions. So it's not going to be about his litigation. You ask about our vision for the city, our specific plans.
If I ask, what are your thoughts on the Doug Harless case, or how do you think this could be handled better? And if it's, I would have to study up on how to ask the questions, or maybe
the debates would be on the legal issues and more of the policies and the things like that. So
I would want to talk about this chance that London could be bankrupt. I would like to talk about that.
That's more of a town hall. Those are those quick
town
fire.
hall questions.
Yeah.
Reach out to Neil Middleton. He hosted, or he was the speaker at the last debate in London, the last election. I'm sure he'd be happy to give you pointers and.
Yeah, that's what I would need. I would need some pointers and maybe even be able to get the questions, submit them to you guys. And then,
no, you don't want to do that.
Don't submit them to the candidates. That's us.
Yeah.
As the committee asking, we would be the ones that would.
Yeah,
do
you
it.
don't want the candidates to know the questions
Feedback
ahead of
from
time.
Our listeners and our followers, and let them submit some questions, and then we would go through and pick what we think would be the best.
Again, I'm not very familiar with how the debate would work.
Now, town hall is just letting chat run with it.
But like I said, reach out to Neil. He's done it before, and I'm sure he would be happy to mentor you.
Well,
and I'm more than ready for a debate.
We'd love it. And we've already got Matt signed on, got you signed on, and again, we'll have to reach out to Mayor Weddle, see what he thinks. But we've not had you sign our wall. We've asked you our questions. But we've got to get you signing our wall. What time is it, Ronnie?
9:01.
Oh, we're past time.
Yeah.
Tracie, time goes by so quick when you sit with us.
It does go by quickly. It really does. I've had a good time both times. Y'all are great.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll get to have this conversation again.
I look forward to it.
All right. You guys have a great night. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, and love you, and peace.
Are you a jerky jerk?
Oh, yeah! Dang it. Hey, let me get a piece. No can do. This is my last piece of RJ's beef jerky.
RJ's Beef Jerky. Real jerky for real jerky jerks.